So you see, we keep telling you, Turkey's interest in this whole thing. Of course, the Nigerian situation, what the Islamists want to convert Nigeria to is exactly what happened in Turkey, centuries back. Because Turkey was overwhelmingly a Christian country. It was then Anatolia, known as Anatolia, with its capital as in Constantinople, which is today Istanbul. And they keep hitting the Christians there, just like these Islamists, these jihadists, these Fulani terrorists keep hitting the Christian communities, destroying them, killing and taking over. That was the story of Turkey. That was the story of Turkey. And up to this moment, one of the most beautiful churches in the world, which was in Turkey, Hagia Sophia, has been converted to mosque. But of course, the mosaic of Jesus and Mary are still on the wall there. And during prayers, they do cover it, So that is a country that has been providing refuge to some of these renowned terrorist enablers. Of course, they are providing refuge to Hamas, we know that. And now Sheikh Gumi has escaped to that after inciting Nigerians so much, after inciting the very vulnerable Muslims, and going around the media houses in Nigeria and twisting the narrative, telling the narrative of an attack on Nigeria by the United States. United States did not say she's coming to attack Nigeria. United States said they are coming to attack the terrorists that have been killing Christians and, of course, moderate Muslims. Because what is happening in Nigeria, in the northwest of Nigeria particularly, is the killing of moderate Muslims, the Hausas, not Fulanis. So the Hausas have been persecuted, but most especially the Hausa Christians. There are a lot of them there. A lot of Nigerians do not know that there are Hausa Christians in Katsina, in Sokoto, in Kano. They've been persecuted for so long. And then the moderate Muslims, who are mostly the Hausas. So Sheikh Gumi has escaped. This is a guy who was radicalized and given the wrong indoctrination in Sudan. Just be afraid of any Nigerian who studied in Sudan. I'm telling you, just like Lamido Sanusi, as brilliant as he was, he's a radical too. That's the truth. He has the antecedents. He spearheaded the beheading of someone in the 90s, a certain Muslim, for blasphemy in Kano. So all those guys who go to study in Sudan, because Nigerian universities are better than Sudan. So I don't understand why all these guys are going to Sudan. And that is why it was in Sudan that Saudi Arabia arrested him for enabling terrorism, And he was bailed by the government of Jonathan in a diplomatic mission. They had a diplomatic relationship with Saudi Arabia in that regard to enable him, to enable him become free. And for a very long time, he did not go to Saudi Arabia until this year. In March this year, he went to Saudi Arabia and he was deported. He thought that they had forgotten. So he was deported at the airport in Jeddah. So that is in Saudi Arabia, the headquarters of Muslims, saying, look, we don't like you, some of you guys with very deep records, who are very deeply involved in terrorism. You remember Osama bin Laden, his Saudi Arabian, nationality, of Saudi Arabian nationality and origin. But they exiled him because of his radical disposition. So those were the mentors of Sheikh Gumi. And the media in Nigeria, which to a very great extent has also been complicit, have been giving him room to talk. And the media deliberately stopped some of us from talking. I have a lot of friends in the media. They told us directly that, look, they censored them. They said they shouldn't give some of us the opportunity. So they like giving people who just somehow, just on the mild side, just say, okay, yeah, we are media as a Christian genocide, and they don't go deep. But for many of us, we know it very deeply. So the media cannot give us the space to articulate this position. But they've given so much to Sheikh Gumi. And the guy has started fleeing. It means that something is coming, because they do get their own intelligence report too. Just like the period that United States wanted to destroy the Boko Haram guys in Borno, and Nigerian army alerted them and they were all putting gas mask. So Sheikh Gumi got his own intelligence maybe, and he wanted to escape. But not before he has radicalized a lot of people. Another thing that came up during the weekend is that protest by the Islamic group, the Sheikh Zakzaki group in Nigeria, condemning Israel, burning burning American flag, saying death to America and death to Israel and death to Donald Trump. And one thing that caught my attention is the fact that out of that gathering, more than 50% of that gathering is made up of minors, children below the ages of 18, 17. Many of them were below the age of 15. You could see how these guys radicalize kids so early. At that age, you are bringing kids on protest to protest against America, to be burning flags and to be shouting and to be screaming, "Death to America." You see the kind of indoctrination they give these guys at that age. So just imagine when this guy grow up, what you'll be, how he will be looking at me, a Christian, or America, or Israel, how he will consider all those nations. It's quite unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate what is happening, and they don't seem to care at all. They don't seem to care, but we care, and we care for their children. We want their children to be better, to know that we are not enemies but friends, and even though we have different religion, passion should always connect us, and humanity should always prevail. And finally, what happened over the weekend again was in Nasarawa State, and today, Monday, it happened in Duduguru. You know, Fulanis came and killed people in Sarkin Noma. Sarkin Noma is like 20 kilometers away from my village, Irota, the second village in Nasarawa State after Kadorko. If you are coming from Makodi, you pass the Irota. Irota is the last village in Benue before you hit Plateau State. And Kadorko is the first, or Gedasule is the first village, but it's quite a very small village, then Kadorko. So from Kadorko to Sarkin Noma, it's just barely 5 kilometers. 5 kilometers. That's after the village of my father's mother, my grandmother. My grandmother is from Che Atuma. That's a village between Kadorko and Sarkin Noma. You know, so in Sarkin Noma, they killed about 2 to 3 people and injured others and abducted the Fulani terrorists. And today, that's on Monday, 10th of November, they killed 4 people in Duduguru. Duduguru is slightly after Agaragu in Nasarawa State. That is a place that is hosting the Catholic Church, the Catholic community, the Catholic Girls Secondary School, St. Kizito Secondary School, Girls Secondary School. So they killed a Reverend Father, a Catholic Reverend Father, and 2 other people, and abducted others, these Fulani terrorists. In all these villages, I have friends, I schooled in Gumi College Kefi. Most of my schools was in my primary school. My class 5 and 6 was in Away Central after I left Jos, in Away Central, Away, and then Gumi College Kefi and IJMB in SPS Kefi. So I have friends in all these villages. They are the ones who keep alerting me of many of the attacks in Benue State, because these people do converge in their own communities to take off. Like in Giza community, when they converge to attack Irota, they converge and prayed for about 1 hour, prayed to go and kill my own people, But we keep telling because the Muslims in Nasarawa are moderate Muslims, and that is why most of the families in Nasarawa are made of Muslim and Christians in the same family, because they are moderate. So if Islam could be practiced that way, there will be peace everywhere. So many of the Muslims in Nasarawa State are moderate Muslims, especially in the southern part of Nasarawa and the middle part of Nasarawa, that's Nasarawa, Igon, Akwanga. But you see, right from the administration of Tanko Almakura to this jihadist enabler called A.A. Sule, who is claiming he's clean and is even suing in court Professor Gundu, for defamation because they called him terrorist enabler. He is. Right from their administration, they gave a lot of these lands to Fulanis, the terrorists, with the support of the locals, because the locals I don't know from where it started, started hating Tiv people, indigenous Tiv people. A lot of the Tiv people were there before them. But so they preferred the Fulani. They thought that they are fighting, they made Tiv to become like the Jews, fighting the Tiv people. And so they hosted the Fulanis in their community. The Fulanis have started going against them now. So that is exactly the story that is happening in Nasarawa State. From Agaragu to Akaleku to Duduguru to Akanga to Kadorko to Giza to Kiana. Many of these communities have been ravaged in recent times by the Fulani terrorists, that they did not learn their lessons from the Hausa communities who hosted Odman Danfodio. And the Hausas were practicing Islam before Danfodio. But Danfodio brought a violent form of Islam, and it ravaged the whole of Hausa land. And then his ally, Alimi, went to Ilorin as a visitor to Afonja, the Yoruba Afonja, the rulers of Ilorin, the owners of Ilorin, the Yorubas. They hosted this guy in good faith, the Alimi. When he settled a bit, he went around to bring his Fulani guys who took over this, set up a jihad in Ilorin, took over Ilorin, and today the emirate of Ilorin belongs to the Fulani. Meanwhile, it's a Yoruba town. So that is exactly what happened in Turkey.